My name is Claire. I am 29 years old, and my life has always been quiet. My apartment is small, tucked into the corner of a busy street. At night, I hear the hum of traffic below and the faint flicker of lamplight against the curtains. My mornings are routine. Wake up to the sound of the kettle boiling, dress in the same neat clothes, take the same crowded bus, sit at my desk in the same office. Work, home, sleep, repeat. It was not an unhappy life. It was steady, predictable, safe. But sometimes, when I sat by my window with a cup of tea, watching strangers hurry by, I wondered if this was all life had for me. Then one winter morning, everything changed. A new manager arrived at our office. His name was Michael. He was 38, tall, with dark hair touched faintly by grey, and eyes that seemed calm, even in silence. He walked into the room with quiet confidence, not the kind that demanded attention, but the kind that made everyone relax in his presence. He smiled as he introduced himself, his voice soft, steady, and warm. He shook hands with each of us, and when he reached me, his grip was firm but gentle. "It's nice to meet you, Claire," he said. Just a simple greeting, yet somehow, his voice lingered in my mind long after he moved on. At first, he was just my boss. I returned to my desk, told myself not to think about it, and buried myself in my work. But over the next days and weeks, I began to notice things. Michael had a way of remembering details. He asked one colleague, "How was your father's recovery?" He told another, "I hope your daughter enjoyed her school play." It surprised me. Most managers forgot names, forgot faces, but not him. With Michael, people felt seen. People felt important. And when he came near my desk, leaning slightly as he explained something, I noticed the little things. The faint scent of his cologne, the way his eyes focused, the calm steadiness in his tone. My heart would beat faster, though I tried to keep my expression calm. One afternoon, I was struggling with a file on my computer. Michael came to help. He stood close, his arm brushing against mine as he reached for the mouse. My breath caught. My face grew warm. His sleeve brushed against me, only for a moment, but it felt like the world had stopped. He noticed my stillness and asked softly, "Are you all right, Claire?" I smiled quickly, nodded, and whispered, "Yes." But after he walked away, I sat frozen in my chair, my heart pounding like a drum I couldn't quiet. That night, lying in bed, I replayed it all in my mind. His voice, his smile, the way he said my name. I told myself, "Claire, don't be foolish. He's your boss. Nothing more." But the more I tried to push the thought away, the more it stayed. Day after day, the feeling grew. I began to look forward to his greetings, his questions, even the way his footsteps sounded when he walked past my desk. And then, one afternoon, I saw it. A simple band of gold on his finger, a wedding ring. I stared at it for a moment too long. My chest tightened. My breath grew heavy. That little circle of gold carried the weight of everything I didn't want to believe. Michael was married. The office buzzed around me, phones ringing, printers humming, colleagues talking. But all I could hear was the silence in my own heart. That evening, I walked home slowly, the city lights blurring through the tears that filled my eyes. When I reached my apartment, I sat by the window, staring at the night sky. I whispered to myself, "You must forget him, Claire. You must forget him." But my heart, stubborn and loud, whispered back, "I can't." After I noticed the ring on his finger, everything at work felt different. Michael was still kind and gentle, still the man who made everyone smile. But for me, every greeting carried weight. When he said, "Good morning, Claire," I smiled as usual, but inside my chest felt heavy. One Sunday, I went to the bookstore, hoping to clear my mind. As I walked between the shelves, I stopped suddenly. There he was, Michael, but not as my boss. He was with his wife, holding her hand, and their 2 children running around them, laughing. He picked up his daughter, kissed her forehead, and smiled in a way I had never seen before. I froze. My stomach dropped. My hands shook as I hid behind a shelf. In that moment, I knew the truth. He belonged to them, not to me. That night, I couldn't sleep. I whispered again and again, "Forget him, Claire. Please forget him." But my heart replied with every beat, "I can't." Days passed. I tried to act normal, but Michael noticed. One afternoon, he stopped at my desk and said, "Claire, you've been quiet lately. Are you all right?" I looked down and said softly, "I'm just tired." He smiled and replied, "You're strong, Claire. You're special." That word, special, stayed with me. It warmed me, but it hurt too. I wanted to tell him everything, but I didn't. Weeks later, we both stayed late at the office. The room was quiet. He looked at me and said, "Claire, you are important to me. I'm married, but I like you. You make me feel alive." My heart jumped, but I held back tears. I whispered, "Michael, I like you too. But you have a family. I can't be the reason for pain." He nodded, sadness in his eyes. "I understand." After that, we kept our distance. We worked together, but the feeling stayed unspoken. At home, I thought about it often. I realized love is not always about holding on. Sometimes love is about letting go. Michael will always remain a quiet memory in my heart, but now I am learning something more important: to love myself first.